Hello, English learners, and welcome back to Easy English Hub, the podcast where learning English meets motivation and real-life inspiration. I'm your host, Henry, and whether you're listening during your morning commute, relaxing in your favorite corner at home, or even taking a walk outside, we're here to make your English journey not only educational, but truly enjoyable. Every week, we explore real stories from learners just like you. We talk about their successes, the struggles they've faced, and the strategies that help them move forward. Because here's what we truly believe. Learning English is not just about memorizing grammar rules or collecting vocabulary. It's about connection, confidence, and opening doors to new opportunities. It's about expressing yourself in ways you never thought possible. So go ahead, grab your favorite drink, sit back, and let's dive into today's episode. Today, we have a very special guest joining us, someone who has experienced the ups and downs of learning English with determination and creativity. She's here to share her journey, full of practical insights and lessons learned through real experience. Let's not wait any longer. Please join me in welcoming Emma to the show.
Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me, Henry.
We're so glad to have you, Emma. Let's start from the beginning. Can you tell us a bit about where you're from and what first inspired you to start learning English?
Of course. I'm from Barcelona, Spain. To be honest, English wasn't always something I cared about. Back in school, it felt like just another subject I needed to pass, not something I truly wanted to learn. I remember sitting in class feeling completely overwhelmed. Grammar rules, exceptions, and then even exceptions to those exceptions. It all felt confusing and honestly a bit pointless at the time. I didn't really see how English would be useful in my life. But that mindset slowly changed. I began to notice how present English was in everyday life. Movies, music, social media. It was everywhere. And I started to feel like I was missing out on a lot by not understanding it. Then came a turning point, a trip to London with my friends. I struggled so much to communicate, and it was frustrating. I felt lost in simple situations. That experience really opened my eyes. I realized I needed to take English seriously.
That must have been a powerful moment. Experiences like that really changed perspective. So after that trip, what did you do differently? How did you start improving your English?
When I got back, I was determined, but also confused about where to begin. I knew traditional methods, like just studying grammar books, wouldn't work for me. So I chose a different approach. I immersed myself in the language. I started watching movies and TV shows in English. At first, I used Spanish subtitles, then switched to English subtitles, and eventually tried watching without any subtitles at all. It wasn't easy. I often had to rewind scenes multiple times just to understand one sentence. But I kept going because I knew listening to native speakers was essential. I also started listening to English music and singing along, even when I didn't fully understand the lyrics. It was a fun way to improve pronunciation and pick up new words naturally.
That actually sounds like a really enjoyable way to learn. But I imagine it wasn't always easy. What kind of challenges did you face during that phase?
Oh, definitely. It wasn't easy at all. One of the biggest challenges was feeling overwhelmed. English has so many layers, idioms, slang, phrasal verbs. It felt like every time I learned something new, there was always more waiting for me. Phrasal verbs especially were confusing. They don't always make logical sense. For example, why does give up mean to quit? Or bring up mean both to mention something and to raise a child? I would study them, but then hear them used in different situations and feel lost again. Another big challenge was speaking. I was afraid of making mistakes, so I often avoided speaking altogether. I would rehearse sentences in my head, but when it came time to actually say them, I froze. My confidence was really low.
That's something many learners struggle with, the fear of making mistakes. Speaking of that, did you ever have any funny language mistakes?
Oh yes, plenty. One time after a big meal, I wanted to say I'm full, but I accidentally said I'm fool. Everyone started laughing and kept calling me fool for the rest of the day. Let's just say I never forgot that difference again.
That's hilarious. Honestly, those moments make learning unforgettable. So how did you eventually overcome your fear of speaking?
It took time, but I realized that mistakes are part of the process. I started small, talking to myself in English. I would describe what I was doing, like, now I'm making breakfast, or I need to go to the store. It sounds simple, but it helped me feel more comfortable speaking. Later, I joined an online language exchange community. At first, I was very nervous. I was afraid of sounding silly, but people were kind and patient. They didn't expect perfection. That support gave me confidence, and over time, I noticed real improvement in my speaking.
That's amazing. Having a supportive environment really makes a difference. Did you use any specific techniques to improve your speaking and listening?
Yes, one technique that really helped me was shadowing, listening to native speakers and repeating exactly what they say, copying their pronunciation and rhythm. I often used movie clips because the language felt natural. For listening, I started using podcasts. At first, I chose ones with transcripts so I could read along. Later, I switched to podcasts without transcripts. I realized something important. Even if I didn't understand every word, I could still understand the main idea, and that was enough.
That's such an important lesson. Now let's talk about vocabulary. Many learners struggle with that. How did you handle it?
Vocabulary was definitely challenging. I would learn words and then forget them quickly, so I started keeping a vocabulary journal. Whenever I found a new word, I wrote it down with an example sentence. I also used spaced repetition, reviewing words after a day, then a week, then a month. But the most effective thing was using the words in real conversations. Even if I wasn't sure, I tried. Over time, they became natural. I also created personal associations. For example, if I learned the word meticulous, I would think of someone I know who fits that description. That helped me remember better.
That's a smart strategy, connecting words to real life. Were there any tools or resources that helped you along the way?
Yes, definitely. One useful tool was Anki, which uses spaced repetition with flashcards. I also used YouTube a lot. There are so many great channels that teach everyday English, especially expressions you don't find in textbooks. I followed blogs and newsletters in English too. That helped me see how English is used in different contexts.
It sounds like you really made the most of everything available. Now that you've improved so much, how do you continue learning?
I still consider myself a learner. Now I focus more on advanced things like idioms and cultural references. I continue immersing myself, reading books, watching news, and listening to podcasts. I've also started writing more in English, journals, social media posts, and even emails. Writing helps me organize my thoughts. Recently, I joined a book club where we discuss books in English. It's a great way to practice speaking and learn new ideas.
That sounds like a great experience. Before we finish, do you have any advice for our listeners?
Yes. First, be patient. Learning a language takes time. Second, don't be afraid of mistakes. They're part of learning. Third, make learning fun. Use music, movies, or anything you enjoy. And finally, surround yourself with English as much as possible. Make it part of your daily life.
Wonderful advice. Thank you so much, Emma, for sharing your journey with us. It's truly inspiring.
Thank you, Henry. It was a pleasure. And to everyone listening, keep going. You'll get there.
And with that, we've reached the end of today's episode. A big thank you to Emma for her inspiring story. Remember, every small step you take is progress. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Easy English Hub for more stories and practical tips. Until next time, keep learning, keep practicing, and keep speaking English. Take care.